What's up, folks, and welcome to Indie Ramble. So this is one I've actually had in the hopper for a while now, and I actually did want to cover it a lot sooner than this, but better late than never, I suppose. And this is a pretty cool one, actually, and one I wanted to show off to you guys. This is Gunborg Dark Matters, and it's a precision platformer, I guess you'd say, but not so much in the vein of like a Super Meat Boy or something like that. It's got more of a Hotline Miami vibe to it almost, even though it plays in a very different way from those games. And it's quite interesting, but has some limitations to it. So there is a campaign mode. I've actually finished it. That's one of the things. This game is not very long, and that does unlock a survival mode as well as some bonus stages here. But I'm going to show you what this is about. So there is a story in this. It's not much of one, to be honest with you, but the idea is you're trying to work your way through this ship to take it over, for the most part. And this is what it is. It's a fast-paced platformer that involves both the actual platforming itself, but also combat. And combat can take many different forms. You have that sort of energy sword that you saw me using there. You have a shield that you can turn on that will enable you to not only deflect enemy projectiles back at them, but also you can use it to bounce off spikes that are in various levels. And you have a jetpack that allows you to do multiple types of jumps. And yeah, all of these different weapons that you're seeing that I'm picking up here that you can get off the enemies. The levels are designed to be gone through very quickly. There is a scoring system, as you can see, as well as a combo multiplier. And the reason I say this is sort of Hotline Miami-like is that you are aiming to go through things quickly and in a sort of flowing manner. You know, you want to make your jumps, your gun shots, and all your precision platforming just kind of flow together in a very seamless fashion. And each level has 3 different difficulties, and you're graded on a whole bunch of different things when you get to the end of the levels, and that will determine what kind of bonus score that you get. And if you really want to get the highest rank in each level, you don't necessarily have to play on the hardest difficulty, but it certainly helps. And on easy, it's not too bad. On normal, it's a decent challenge, and hardcore is just that. It is quite challenging indeed. And you'll also see there that I'm picking up these little info bots things. They go, well, they're called info bots. They are optional, but you will unlock extra things with them, including what are called escape pod levels, which you get when you finish the game. I've unlocked 2 out of 3 of them at this point. And you're sort of seeing the meat of it here. You're trying to get through the level as fluidly as you can and get as big a score as you can as a result of that. And here's the way the scoring system works. The scoring system's actually somewhat in-depth. Unfortunately, there's no leaderboards, which is kind of a bummer. There we go, I broke a record. Nice. There is unfortunately no leaderboards in this, which is a bit of a shame. I do wish that there was online leaderboards and a way to be a little bit more competitive. The way this works right now, you're only competing with yourself, which is still better than nothing. But given the clear amount of work that was put into developing the scoring and combo system, it's a little surprising to me that there isn't some more in terms of leaderboard capability. But you know, it is what it is. And the thing that I like about this game is it is challenging, but it's not brutal. It won't, you know, games like Super Meat Boy are cool, and I have a lot of respect for them. But the problem that those games have is they are for the hardest of the hardcore and people who are going to spend a lot of time practicing just to complete the game at all. This isn't like that. If you want to max this out and S rank every level, and there are achievements tied to that, and if you want to get the highest score you can on every level, yeah, you're going to be putting in some work without a doubt. But at the same time, you don't have to, and you can choose to just go through it and one and done it if you like. It's really up to you how you choose to approach things. And I quite enjoy how this plays. I don't think I go for an S rank on everything, but it's something where if I really chose to commit to it, I think I could, because it's one of those types of games where every time you do a run of a level, you feel yourself getting a little bit better. You know, you keep that combo streak going longer, you accomplish more interesting things like that. So this is a mini boss. And the mini bosses have sort of multiple waves of enemies that you have to attack. And you'll see there as well that when you get your multiplier up to a certain level, you get what's called dark energy. And basically what that means is that, as you can see, whatever gun you have becomes an uber death machine. And that only works as long as you keep the combo going. So if you get yourself hit, well, you're not going to keep it very long. But you can do some... If you get that and can keep that going, you can become a pretty brutal character here. And as you can see, you only have a limited amount of ammo in each gun, and they're one and done. So you got to pick up other stuff as you go, and you got to be prepared to really juggle that stuff around quite a bit. I still missed that third bot. Dang it. But as you can see, I'm beating my better scores, which is always nice and cool. Where this kind of falls down, I'm going to be honest with you, especially for the price, is that it's short. And I mean really short. As in, I was researching this video. I assumed there was more than just this ship involved. And I was researching this video, got to the end of the ship, beat the boss in it, and it was like, thanks for playing. And I'm like, what? That's it? The story just felt like it was starting to maybe go somewhere, and it's strange because it really feels in some ways like this game isn't finished. It's not early access, but it really feels like there was intended to be more levels to it that flesh out the story a little bit more. And I don't know if that's the case or not, but I was disappointed in how short it was, in the fact that you can play this and beat almost every level on normal difficulty. I did do a couple at the end on easy, just because I was curious to see where things went. But you can do this whole thing if you're half decent at it in about 2 hours. And yes, you have the challenge of getting all the info bots and getting all the escape pod levels plus the survival mode and whatnot, and that's all fine. But the core of it is only a couple hours long. And it's a shame because the systems in this game are great. The combat is great. The platforming is great. The controls feel nice and snappy. There's lots of weapon variety, lots of enemy variety. The levels are quite a bit different from each other. It really does feel like you're working your way through a very large ship that has a lot of different environments in it as a result of how big it is. That's all really cool, but then it just kind of stops. And that bummed me out because I wanted more. I wasn't done with the game, to be honest with you. The game, it did, you know how people will say that something overstayed its welcome? This did the opposite. It understayed its welcome, if anything. I wanted more of this than I got. And it's not a super expensive title, but it just feels like that not only that there should have been more here, but that there was planned to be. And again, I have no idea if that's true. Maybe they're planning to make this sort of an episodic idea. Maybe they wanted to, you know, maybe they needed to get the... maybe they didn't have the budget to make the full-on game that they wanted, and they're hoping that sales from this one will help fund that. This game, based on its Steam review count, has definitely not been a hit, which is kind of a shame. It's one of the reasons I really wanted to do the video on this, because I just think there's really something cool here. But yeah, it feels incomplete, but not in that incomplete way like, you know, this game was pushed out when it wasn't ready, but it just feels like that there was a vision to have more here than we got. Which is too bad, because it is a lot of fun. And I would have, if it was longer, I absolutely would have finished it. And as you know, that's not something I say about every game I cover on the channel. Even some that I like, I'm like, yeah, this is good, but I think I've had my fill of it. But this is one I absolutely would have sat down to finish after the video. But I finished it while making the video unintentionally. And that kind of made me go, well, crap. I wanted more of it. So yeah, I don't know how well this is doing on consoles. Maybe it's doing better there. I honestly hope it is, because I think that For a game especially that was largely developed by one person, I think there's something very cool here. Some really well-designed systems, some really well-designed controls, and a potentially just cool idea for a game universe that doesn't feel like it had an opportunity to get fully realized. And I'd really like it to, because clearly some talent went into this game, and it's a shame to see that, you know, not get to thrive in the way we necessarily like to. So yeah, but I do recommend you pick this up if you like these kind of action platformer type titles. As you can see, it's got some precise stuff to it. You know, it demands some things of you, but it's not Super Meat Boy kind of brutal. And if you are someone who's looking for that kind of thing, I mean, if you play it on the highest difficulty, you will get some challenge out of it, but definitely still nothing like that. But I don't really think that's what this was going for either. I think this strikes a nice balance that makes it more appealing to people like me, who respect the living crap out of Super Meat Boy, but just can't do it. You know? There we go. And yeah, it's something that I think should be on more people's radar if you're into that, because there is good stuff here. And I really would like to see more of it, and I would really like to see this get more content, because I really feel like it needs it. And, you know, for the price, yes, I've paid more for less than this, absolutely. But it might be a little bit of a big ask. This might be something worth picking up when it is on sale. But hopefully this video has convinced you as to why I think this is cool and worthwhile and worth your time, because it is a very good action game. It's just a little light, which is really unfortunate. I mean, you can see here I'm at mission 8, you know, 6 of 12, and you know, like I said, it doesn't take very long, right? And there, if you do, you will definitely get more hours out of it if you want 100% it. And I do think that perhaps the designer intended for it to be done that way, for this not to be a one and done affair, right? But that is the way a lot of people play games like this, and I think it's something that you should be mindful of if you're going to pick this up. But I did enjoy it, and even if I hadn't gotten a code for it, yeah, I just wanted more of it. And really, while it's a bummer that this doesn't have more, I think saying I just wanted more of this is probably the greatest compliment you can give a game. So kudos for that. I just hope we do get that at some point. So yeah, that is Gunborg Dark Matters. It is out on all the major platforms right now. I do really recommend taking a look if this is if you are into this kind of genre. If the price does seem a little steep for you, maybe wait for a sale. But this definitely has deserved more attention than it's gotten at this point, and I think it's something you shouldn't sleep on. Definitely not. So thank you guys very much for watching. I do appreciate it. If you liked what you saw here, please do all the normal YouTube things, like, subscribe, hit the bell, and leave a comment down below. Tell me, you know, does this interest you? Are you put off by the 2-hour length? Is it something that you would actually get and put the time into to 100% it, you know? And what other types of games like this are out there that you think might be either a good alternative to this or a good complement to this if you're somebody who would be into this kind of genre, because I always like learning more about stuff like that. And as always, you can follow me over at twitch.tv/pxabstraction for multiple variety streams a week. I cover other indies and retro stuff over there, including a lot of things that you won't see over here on YouTube. We have a great community there, and I would love to see you be a part of it. Thanks again, folks, and I'll see you on the next Indie Ramble. You folks have yourselves a good one. Take her easy.